The one thing I don't play about is my story. That's the one thing I don't play about. I don't take chances with my story. I don't sit there and treat it as if it's some throwaway piece of literature. And I dang well won't allow anyone else to be better than me at telling it. I've been through so much in my life that there's things I've forgotten. Both good and bad, happy and sad, and anything in between. I have lived a pretty well thought out life, and I'm only getting started. The question is that if I die today, tomorrow, next week, or 50 years from now, what are the people going to remember? What are the people going to think? What are the people going to ask about me? How are we going to convey this story of this upward trajectory in my life to the people? Glad you asked. I thought to myself this since a young age. I've been through too much. This story has been too great for me not to be good enough to tell it. And I want to encourage you today to be good enough to tell your own story. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a quick episode. But welcome to the Narrative of Niles Niseem. Let's get into it. And we're back with another episode of the Narrative of Niles Niseem with me, your boy, Niles Niseem. This is not going to be a long episode. And you know why? It doesn't need to be. It don't need to be. Because it's very self-explanatory in what I'm talking about today. Be good enough to tell your own story. Be good enough to tell your own story. I don't think people understand just how incredible their story is. I don't think they understand how valuable their story is. You don't get just how much of an impact by you telling your story could do for thousands, even millions or billions of people in their lives, how it can change people for generations to come by you sharing your life experiences. You think that God would allow all this stuff to happen to you, both good and bad, just so you can sit on it and nest on it and not show it to the world and not go out there and explain all the great things and the great lessons and the creative ideas and the hard nights and the revelations that you've gotten? That's not for you. That's for others. That's the biggest treasure you have. It ain't the money you got. It ain't the career you're doing. It ain't the clothes you're wearing. It ain't the gold you got on your neck or your earring or on your wrist. It's that story you've created. It's the story you cultivated. The story that could be a New York Times best-selling author. But you got to be good enough to say it. You got to be good enough to tell it. I sit there and I watch these documentaries that come out posthumously after someone passes away, or documentaries about a subject while a person's alive but they don't even want to be a part of it. I'll be darned if someone makes a documentary about me and not have me in it. Because you can go ahead and say stuff from your perspective, but we got to talk about the truth. And the only person that knows the truth is me. And the only one who knows the truth better than me is God himself. I'm not going to let nobody tell my story. There's certain parts that they're going to go ahead and highlight that aren't even the important parts. When you allow people to tell your story, what you are doing at that point is you're giving them free and open access to say what's important. They can cut out what they think is the fat. Meanwhile, you understand what's the fat and what's not the fat. You've been through your life. You know what's the points of contention that the Lord wants you to go ahead and talk to other people. You know the parts of your life that can really inspire people. But when you give people the power to tell your story because you're not good enough to do that, you're allowing them to have the knife. You're giving them control. And is that what you want? Did you go through all the things you went through in life to give someone else control? So that's what I want you to do. We're only 2 months in, not even 2 months, we're only a month into the new year. February just started. And I don't even like New Year's resolutions. But the question is, what is the New Year resolution this year? Be good enough to tell your story. And here's how we do it. It doesn't have to just be in the sense of talking. Talking is one of my mediums. You give me this mic, I'll take it away. Showtime, prime time. This is what I do. But maybe it could be through art, be through music, through competition, through your portfolio. But you need to do whatever you can do to be good enough to tell your story. You need to be good enough to leave a track record of what you believe, what you have done, and who you've impacted. Enough so that there is nothing that anyone can do to confuse what you stood on or who you were. When they make the documentary about you, hopefully you're still alive, but if you're not, they already got the script. They got the receipts, they got everything. All they have to do is follow directions. And if they try to lie, you already got your stuff publicized. I'm telling you right now, because legacies and stories are all we have. That's all we have in this life. Everything else will wither away, be given to something else, and be passed down to generations. But the legacy of who we are is what keeps us immortal, is what keeps us alive, far past the last breath we have. So how can you sit there and be so flippant and flamboyant with it? Go be good enough. Be phenomenal at what you do. Because here's the thing. You either be phenomenal or you be forgotten. And I choose. Because I know this story is too good. As a storyteller myself, I choose to be phenomenal. I choose to be phenomenal at hopping on this mic. I choose to be phenomenal at speaking and performing and telling stories in front of thousands. I choose to be phenomenal at the day-to-day interactions of trying to impact people and listen to them and what they got going on and understand what's going on in their mind. I try to be phenomenal at listening to the Lord and following his purpose for me and following the plan. Because I know that I would be in shambles on the other side if I knew that I didn't leave a story, an inspirational legacy, a life of significance, if I didn't leave that behind. I call this all a failure. That's how